Tonight, BCCI versus Lodha Committee. Is the mission to clean up cricket being road-blocked? And to answer that question, we have Rakesh Rao with us. He's sports correspondent, The Hindu. Welcome to the show, Rakesh. What do you make of what the BCCI did in the first place, and then how Justice Lodha responded?
See, for me, whatever the BCCI has been saying in the last, say, about 5 days, that is not something which anybody expected them to say or do. You are facing certain recommendations. The second, and Justice Lodha has made it very clear, they are no longer recommendations in that sense. Post July 18, it has been something, it has become from being mere recommendations, they are now directive of the Supreme Court, because the Lodha Committee is nothing but an extended arm of the Supreme Court. So let's not separate the two and say
the Supreme Court already accepted those recommendations. And now it's just
so July 18 was the point. Yes.
Just comply.
And now,
do it.
Now the fact is that BCCI is trying its best to either defy outright or to delay. Now, but I think they are now seriously running out of time, because on October 6 we are going to hear what the because whatever the Lodha Committee has now already decided to recommend, in the sense that they're going to say that all these A, B or C have been in conflict with what has, like whatever was the BCCI was directed to do, it is in conflict of that, because there's a whole lot of things which they said you are not supposed to do. BCCI has done exactly that. Now that is something which,
for example, could you give some examples?
For example, they said you cannot have you cannot have 5 selectors. They've already got 5. They said you are only going to transact business related to the year 2015, 2016. You are not going to look at 2016, 2017. Board has just done that. They are saying one state, one vote. You have already defied that.
Age limit again.
Age limit again. They said 70. They say no. Cooling off period again. They say that that 3-year cooling off period and no term exceeding 3 years for them, and a total of like 9 years.
And before this particular thing about the series that is going on, they said that even the Champions Trophy is under a cloud.
No, but that Lodha has made it very clear that look, the calendar was made before we gave the recommendations, so we are not going to do anything with that. That's
it stays as it is.
So that 15-day window is not required, because see, Lodha that way is flexible. He's making it very clear, look, I'm not going to get into international cricketing affairs. If it has already been decided, so be it. His scope of work or his brief was very clear that look, this is what we need to do. We need to clean up cricket. Possibly if somebody looks at it from the perspective of a cricket lover who is not very well informed, you might see that what Lodha Committee is doing is probably overdoing it. But the fact of the matter is, these things are bound to happen. You cannot draw.
BCCI needs to realize that it's not playing to that gallery.
Exactly.
What it says will matter on the 6th of October.
That is exactly what I said. Whatever they have done in the last 5 days, it really surprises me. I'm sure there is a set of people.
It seems
who are
that
legal
they will
experts.
make the argument that the Lodha Committee has exceeded its brief.
Yeah. This is what they've been saying. This is what gives them the right to say A, B or C.
But you're saying that now the stage has gone beyond arguing.
That, because they've been given a chance to argue. See, the arguments have closed. Now, because they have been given the opportunity, that is where they came forward, and their team of legal experts said that, look, what Lodha Committee has recommended is not fair. So they've been heard once. You cannot be repeating the same thing 20 times over. But here, what really surprises me is, when the BCCI decided to go ahead with its AGM and then call this so-called emergent meeting where there was no such emergency. For me, I'm really surprised that what kind of legal advice did the BCCI get. They must have consulted the top legal guys. Either the BCCI has heard all these legal experts, whatever was suggested, they didn't heed to it. That possibly could be the case. Otherwise, it's a direct case of it is a breach of. It's a total contempt of court.
They could be in contempt of court. But what could be the consequences of being in contempt of court? Because if you go by the past,
see, as Justice Lodha has very clearly said, we are going to recommend to the Supreme Court on the 6th that please get rid of these office bearers. That is the first thing. That means that what they have also said, that you should have 5 office bearers, and not more than that, because here there are
But you can't just get rid of office bearers without having an alternative in place. So
no, they're saying the apex body has to be there, and there could be an ad hoc committee to actually take over till you have a set of elected office bearers. So it has to be on, or it has to be on an ad hoc basis, because this was not something which anybody had imagined, that the the Lodha committee could actually recommend to the Supreme Court that get rid of these office bearers, because they can be held in contempt. So beginning from the President Anurag Thakur, Secretary Shirke, and so on and so forth, all these guys can find themselves, they'll have to be asked to vacate their chair and say, look, you are no longer holding that post. There has to be,
and that won't have any impact on how cricket is played in the country and how it's administered.
See, cricketing matters is completely different. We are talking about the administration part. Cricketing matters, you have the selectors. Even those selectors, now that is another key issue here. After having been directed,
because these selectors have been appointed by this
particular committee, which according to Lodha committee, it says that meeting is null and void. We don't recognize that committee. So as a contingency plan, what the board has decided is get rid of Gagan Khoda and Jatin Pranchbhai, reduce it from 5 to 3. And now that meets the Lodha committee recommendations, because each one of them should have played a test match. Gagan and Jatin haven't played, a match there. So what they need to do is they need to somehow fall in line. But here the problem is BCCI is not falling in line. They don't even seem to be falling in line. There are two different things. You don't even appear as though you're making an effort.
So we'll have to wait and see what sort of fate awaits the BCCI and its office bearers on the 6th. Thanks a lot for joining us for the time being. Right now, all we can say is that it was a surgical strike that was attempted by the BCCI against Justice R.M. Lodha and his committee, and it may well backfire.